Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of What the Hell? What's going on here? Well, I guess this is the only thing I can do while under quarantine. What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Movie Versus. No, this is not Bitching with Babish. And yes, I am a huge ass fan of that show. Please check it out. He's amazing. And you might be wondering, Raj, where's the episode for Bloodshot and A Quiet Place Part 2? Well, as you already know, or might have known, if you noticed in the last episode, there was a question mark on top of the poster for A Quiet Place Part 2. If not, here it is. Well, unfortunately, movie theaters across the U.S. and I guess the entire world have been temporarily closed. Why? Well, you should know the answer. Everybody knows at this point. It's because of COVID-19 or the coronavirus, or I would like to call it Jeff, because I'm sick and tired of calling Corona. So, because of Jeff, I can't really go out and see these movies unless I wait until until Hollywood and the producers decide to put it all on digital, like what Frozen 2 is going through. Apparently, Onward is about to receive the same treatment sometime next week or so. Even Invisible Man, yeah, the last episode's movies that I covered will be available on digital. So if you haven't already, please do go check them out. I highly recommend them. But I have nothing to work with. So I guess the only way to continue is by either eating a bunch of really good looking food. This bread, by the way, I made it by scratch. My own dough, everything. Let's see how this is. That's really good. Oh my god. I need a straw. Fuck. Oh, you still want a show. You want something. Well, because of what everybody's going through, and I was also kind of considering of just shutting the show down completely until normality comes back, things go back to normal to an extent. Well, I don't think that's going to happen for a while, not until for like the next couple of weeks. So, show must go on, huh? So instead of going through newer films that have recently just came out, why not talk about older films? Let's talk about the classics. This is classic movie versus. It's the same concept as normal movie versus, except I'm looking more films that have already been out for a while, or just straight up classic films. You might see doing reviews on, say, Batman and Batman Begins, or Spider-Man and Spider-Man Homecoming, or The Amazing Spider-Man, or whatever, you know, remakes versus the original, yada yada yada. You might see me do that. So what I suggest you do is down in the comments below is let me know what movies you want me to cover for the next episode or next few episodes of Classic Movie Versus. Up until then, it's just going to be Classic Movie Versus. So you let me know on what movies to cover. I might have some other ideas for movies I might have in the pipeline, but you let me know on what movie you want, and if those comments get the top vote or the most liked vote comment on in the section below, I will pick that and I will give you an episode on classic movie versus. But without further ado, here is the first episode of Classic Movie Versus. So this first episode of Classic Movie Versus is going to be on two very classy, foodie-based movies. One is on Big Night, directed by Campbell Scott and Stanley Tucci. Yeah, Abraham Erskine, the creator of Captain America in the MCU, directed this movie. I did not know he was a filmmaker, but here we are. And it stars himself along with Minnie Driver and Ian Holm. The story is about two struggling Italians trying to make a name for themselves within the food industry here in America. And they can either go big or go home depending on how this big night goes for them. They're trying to throw a huge party, a huge feast for this guest celebrity. And like within that entire grasp, they have to also work with each other, like their struggles and whatnot. It's a really compelling tale of not just, of course, the business of restaurants in general, but the business of family. You know, what family means to one another. Like these two Italian business owners are clearly brothers, and they have their own differences. One is the business side, one is the chef. And as you expect for a film that is revolved around food and whatnot, this movie is chock full with amazing looking food, stuff that I definitely would love to try. I know Andrew Ray of Binging with Babish made an episode on one of the dishes, and oh my god, I'm surprised he didn't do more on this film. And considering that it's one of his favorite films in general, so I'm kind of shocked he didn't go for it. And I know my sandwich is falling apart, but I don't care. I'm in love with this thing. Here, that's really delicious. So what did I think of the movie? I thought it was really good. I liked the performances, the amount of tension and struggle that these two have to go with, not with just each other, but within themselves. I found that very, very compelling. It really adds to the drama, really adds to the tension. It's also very funny. It's very, very humorous. If you're into dry humor, that is, you know. The cinematography, it's very basic for a mid-90s, mid to late 90s film, starring Minnie Driver and Stanley Tucci and whatnot. But with that said, it's definitely a fun movie. I highly recommend it for those who are fans of food, film, and both. So the film holds a 84% for audience numbers alike, and yeah, I'm among that 84%. It's a very, very good film. But does it hold a candle to what is, in my opinion, my favorite film of all time? Well, one of my favorite films of all time is that plenty, clearly. Here is my personal favorite film of all time. It made me fall in love with food. It made me fall in love with cooking in general. Like, I mean, it's one of the many reasons why I became a fan of binging with Babbage. Why didn't I have this camera set up and everything? I owe it a lot to this film, to this filmmaker, and to the cast, the crew, the producer, and whatnot. Well, but oh, right, I forgot to give you my official rating for Big Night. Big Night gets a solid A for me. It's a damn good movie, highly recommended, especially during this really trying time. So let's get to part 2. Jon Favreau's Chef. You probably read the title of the video anyway. You didn't have to. Obviously did, because you clicked on the video. But Jon Favreau's Chef is one of my all-time favorites of all time. Not just like, it's a really good movie. It's one of the most culturally relevant films I've ever seen. Not because it goes into the best and worst parts of the internet. It gets into the passion of food and the love for food, love for people and food. Like, there's a scene in the movie where he clearly gives a crap about what he makes. He puts incredible, intricate detail on what he puts out there. And obviously he took some consultation help from professional professional chef Roy Choi. But yeah, all that stuff is on the plate, literally speaking. It's amazing. Like, people have called Chef the ultimate food porn experience. And it is what it is. It's without a doubt food porn, but damn good food porn. The food in the film looks fantastic. Full disclosure, if you want to see this movie, and I highly recommend you do, whatever you do, don't see this without an empty stomach. I swear to God, you will regret it. I tried this a couple of years ago during Thanksgiving. I decided to hold off on food as I fly down to my aunt and uncle's in Austin, Texas, which, funny enough, the latter half of the film takes place. We were going to Thanksgiving, decided to hold off on food for a bit and wait until, and obviously the flight did contain the movie Chef, and I didn't eat anything, and I regretted it. So don't watch this movie without grabbing a bite to eat. Grab a bowl of popcorn, like I have, or something, like eat a sandwich. No, that's good. But why is this one of my favorite films? Well, for one, the story. The story centers on this Miami-based chef named Carl Casper, who has a bit of a standoff between him and this professional food critic, and let's just say things don't go well for him. So in order for him to bounce back, he has to face his fears and own a food truck, a taco food truck, and that's how he basically redeems himself. It's the ultimate redemption tale, the ultimate tale of a celebrity chef turned loser, turned winner once again. It's an inspiring tale, and this story just wouldn't work if the character himself is truly that passionate about cooking. Okay, now Bollywood did make their own version of Chef, and unfortunately that film falters completely because that film failed to remember that this is a visual medium, and we need to understand what food, how important food is to him, the character, and to the people around him. You know, in Jon Favreau's original film, like we see him like, the moment the film starts. It literally takes place in the kitchen, of him cooking some lechon or whatever, like just making whatever he wants to make, and the food looks incredible because he has a passion for that food, and he also brings that passion to the people that support him and to his various customers. In the Bollywood version, the character, like, it's at a really wide shot of him cooking something. What is he cooking? I want to know, what is he cooking? Where did his passion for cooking come from? They did show that, I do have to give them credit for, but they didn't make me believe that this character is in love with his profession, with his love for food, for people, for cooking, for family, you know. And that's what I got out of it from Jon Favreau. He clearly has a complete passion, complete love for this stuff. Why do you think he went to a professional cook, a professional chef? It's really incredible stuff, man. The cinematography, it's very Jon Favreau. If you've seen his other works like Iron Man and Elf, you can tell that this is his film, and that this is his passion. He, like, the way he frames his shots on the various dishes that he puts on the plate, literally and metaphorically, to the various performances. Like, all the performances are stellar. Even John Leguizamo, who I'm personally generally not a fan of, but him in this and the John Wick movies, dude's incredible. He brings this sense of warmth, this sense of humanity. Like, he makes the film just wouldn't work without John Leguizamo and the kid who plays Casper's son. Amazing child performance. I believe I did see him in Krampus as well, by the way, the kid. Sofia Vergara, Robert Downey Jr., Charlotte. I mean, obviously there are some performers that were clearly personal friends of John that he wanted in the movie, and it's still cool to see them regardless. You know, they did a fantastic job. Dustin playing this snooty food owner, like it's really, really great stuff. The soundtrack is just inviting, just like the food is inviting. The performances are inviting. I could watch this any day of the week. It's my personal favorite film. Obviously, you should have seen this coming. The moment I said one of my personal favorite films of all time, it's obviously going to get an A+. I love Big Night. Big Night is an incredible film, but there's just something about Chef that really elevates the experience of not just food, but film for me. And I wouldn't have it any other way, to be honest. I would keep rewatching this every chance I get, whether if it's for a video like this or just Thanksgiving or whenever I'm just bored. It's a really good movie. I highly recommend it. It's an instant A+ for me, and the audience gave it an 85%. So there you have it. The winner of the first ever classic movie versus goes to Chef. Easy winner. Now, I want to try to keep this clear that I'm not trying to pin movies that are similar to each other. That's not my main goal here for this show. So, like I said, if you want to give suggestions in the comments on what movies you would love to see face off against each other, I'll do that. Like, let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you. Here's my goal. Okay, I hope to do one episode every 2 weeks. And once movie theaters start to reopen, I might do an episode 1 week. 1 week for movie verses, 1 week for classic movie verses, depending on how this goes. I'll keep on doing classic, and I'll still keep on doing uh, standard movie verses. Because of the immense and incredible health crisis going around worldwide, I wish you all happiness, safety, and good health. Stay safe out there, kids. You're going to need it.